A long way from the climbing walls. A long way from the cities. At the very edges of Britain, there are cliffs. Big, beautiful cliffs of mostly solid rock, rising straight out of the frigid, uncaring sea to form the land itself. Most people don't think about them much, and if they do, it's not about intentionally stranding themselves at the bottom, just to try and climb back to safety. But for some people, the sea cliffs are always there, at the back of their minds, waiting to be climbed. And through the short days of the long winter, they dream of going on holiday. To the seaside. Swanage is the driest, sunniest place in Britain. That might not sound like much, but it really is nice here. This is the Jurassic coast, and there are fossils everywhere in the rock. It's the kind of place where you can just relax and try hard.
Climbing in Swanage, I like it. It's a bit different, like the being by the sea. I mean, it's one of the great joys of climbing. It's not just what you do, it's where it gets you, really. It does feel a bit more exposed on sea cliffs. You've got that big open horizon, and makes you feel like you've got a lot of air around you.
I think I got lost. Which route is this one? What route is it?
Long story short, misread the topo, so that was a bit of a surprise. You get that little sinking feeling halfway up the route when you realise that, yeah, this isn't HS. You kind of like come out onto this block, but your feet are still underneath the block, so you end up really, really overhung basically, and there's nothing much for your feet until you...
I'm off! Come on!
And then I got a small cam in, which was nice, and fell off again. It's just a case of high feet and mantle to get it done, really. But I was so pumped, but I just couldn't do it the first couple of times.
That's one hell of a warm-up.
This is my third ever time, I think, on Seacliff, which is a bit weird because I lived in Swanage for 1.5 years. I managed to drop Screwgate and Snapgate. Yeah, well, in the sea, but yeah, nothing else, so that was all right. Seacliff climbing is pretty dramatic. Oh yeah. The sea is always behind you. You get this noise which gets your heart going, gets my heart going anyway. Not damn scared, but we're pretty full of gear. I enjoyed leading it. It was a bit all around you really, like a 3D route. I never pulled in front, behind, to the side, which made it a bit more interesting than just a standard route in front of you.
Climbing at Swanage is brilliant, really. I am now pretty much completely blind.
Oh, bloody hell!
Have a degenerative condition, so since the age of about 10, my sight's been getting gradually worse. This is kind of the first time I've done trad climbing, certainly on cliffs such as this. First couple of routes I've done were a bit scary. Kind of struggled in sections, but obviously it wouldn't be any fun if I didn't struggle. I had to really kind of search around for my handholds, my footholds, and then trust them quite a lot. So I've got like less than 5% vision now, so when I look at the cliff, it's almost like a blank canvas, if you will. So I have to really feel around for every single hold that I go for. Yes, I say it's difficult, but it's certainly not impossible. And the feeling I got getting to the top of it was just phenomenal, really. Just felt so happy, The weird thing about it was, once I got to the top, by the fact that I was only sat about a foot away from the edge of the cliff, because I'd already done all that climbing, I felt really safe, like almost as safe as if I were walking on a pavement.
Tom, you're ideal to film because you don't realise I'm filming you. So
Oh, you've been filming me the whole time.
The camera's on you.
So basically this is my third day out. Yeah, third day out climbing trad. Led 6 routes so far. Well, I thought there would be like another question on the route itself. It wasn't one that I really worried about. Like, I can't remember much of it because it was an easy one for me. Not being arrogant or anything, it was just like smooth and it flew. Like, I remember not placing loads of like gear at the end just because I thought, oh, actually I'm at a point where I might take a bit forward, but look at the rest of the route, it's darn easy.
How was that, Yaz?
That was not so.
It was incredible, but still like fucking scary.
Belaying Yaz on the Peacemaker, that was interesting. So see him laughing in the background there.
Up! Yeah, follow the crack and up.
I probably shouldn't have tried an E1 on my 6th trad lead ever, but I really wanted to see if I can get it. It starts in this little tight flake, like a gully-ish thingy. You go up and there's loads of holes and places for gear.
When you get to the roof!
And then once you get to the scary bit, that's when it gets like really terrifying. And I was shaking at that point.
He seemed to be pretty steady. There was a little bit of disco leg going on at one point.
Like my feet were going disco leg upwards. Like.
Yeah, across now, Yaz! Wherever you can now!
And it was just really scary. And I did put that cam in. And I wanted to go a bit further up, but I just was so tired. I was about to start climbing down.
But then he seemed to step across, seemed to get it together.
It was like, fucking amazing. Like the adrenaline was just unbelievable. I was just like, wow. I shouted, I was so happy. Like one of the first stuff I said to Rachel was, I really want to go bungee jumping now. Like, because it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm alright.
It's so cool.
Unsurprisingly, he didn't fancy getting on back on the route. And I realised that I needed to get my gear back, basically. I must admit, just before I started, I did think, do I really want to be doing this?
Get up!
I certainly got my heart going at the top. That was probably as run out as I've ever been. There's no way you can back climb those moves, so you either work out the next move and try it, or you take a swing anyway. Just try and do it one move at a time and not look down too much.
Just give me a hand on. Got some gear. That'd be a jug. Oh, jugs. Oh, jugs. Ain't over.
Good feeling to get to the top, get it done. It was nice to have held it together, you know. Straight up the boldest thing I've ever led.
There is a lot more sea cliff trout to be done, but I haven't tried them yet. Will take me someday. I don't know if he's willing to anymore because of that fall, but yeah.
Cumbria is better known for its mountains than its sea cliffs, but St Bees Head has a haven of red sandstone, hidden away from the tourist funny parts and the mountain weather. This is a special place, a treat for locals and a surprise for the curious visitor.
I've spent all my climbing life climbing down here, and I've still got so much to do, and that's in every discipline. And I don't think there's many venues in the UK where you can do that. It's got amazing bouldering. I think the bouldering's been recognised now as almost world class. But it's got brilliant sport climbing, and like I say, brilliant trad climbing as well, adventure trad climbing. I just want to get at this bit without getting too wet. Just climbed an E5 called Run Wild, Run Free, which is a route of Dougie Hall. It's quite an old route. Doesn't get climbed very often, but it's an amazing climb.
So there's a bit of gear on each.
It's quite exciting on the bottom bit because it was a bit wet, so a bit slippy. It's overhanging, it's steep, but it's on good holes. There's breaks where you can get knee bars and leg jams. Yeah, it's just really 3D. Cara belayed me today. She does a little bit of climbing. She's belayed sport climbing before.
So when I'm going up, you'll have to give me slack on this and tight on this.
But she's never belayed trad climbing, so with the twin ropes and with me putting in gear and whatnot, it was quite interesting for us. I think it was quite a steep learning.
Next piece, this rope will get slacker. So if you take the slack in, don't have it tight. Just say if I fell in that top wire, it came out. Just so that there's not loads of slack on this.
I had confidence and I knew she'd be okay, which is the main thing.
Oh God, it's wet.
Well, there's a few moments where it would have been a bit better to get slack a bit faster perhaps.
Slack, Cara.
Yeah, it worked fine. And I think she enjoyed the experience as well, which is the most important thing. We didn't cut her off for future endeavours. I hope so. We'll see. But yeah, it's an amazing climb, and it's a shame really because the climbs down here don't get the credit they deserve, so they don't know. It seems like St Bees, when it comes to trad climbing, is a bit of a backwater, and it shouldn't be because some of the routes are amazing. And they deserve to get a lot more traffic than what they do. Being by the sea as well, it couldn't be anywhere better. A day like today, sun shining, birds are calling. It's amazing, great place.
Gogarth means north coast in Welsh, and it's the climber's name for these crags on the northwest tip of Holy Island and of Wales itself. There's so much climbing here on Anglesey, and such an amazing variety of rock. Surely only the most unimaginative climber could get bored.
There's very few places you can go, climbing or otherwise, that are still actually wild, you know. And sea cliffs are. Once you have over the top and it's just the rock and the sea, that's a totally natural environment, isn't it? It's adventurous. It's more adventurous than your normal climbing. Some climbers say, right, when the seagulls are attacking you or whatever, you know, you can just trash them with your cam or something like that, but I'm not that kind of person. Hengulls get really aggressive. But the razorbills are stuck back, so I'm even less likely to disturb them because they seem very nice. Whereas the gulls, aggressive, and apparently they shit on me as well. One of my mates was climbing there, he reckoned it chased them off from the top. So I did say, well, what was it, dive bombing you, or was it just waddling along behind you? Yeah, I love Gogarth. It's brilliant.
It's just one facet of that great broad canvas of British track climbing, isn't it? You can be anything you want it to be.
I've made a fuck up of these ropes already.
Try climbing in the UK. You can go sea cliff climbing, take it easy, or you can have an adventure. It's just so varied. Northwest Passage, slightly wandering, slightly rope draggy if you fuck your rope work up.
What have I done here?
Slightly spooky on that traverse before you start going up. Wasn't quite sure where the route went until I found the chalk and that groove, and then it all kind of became clear. Good rock, really good rock quality. Everyone says, oh, Gogarth. Oh, I don't go to Gogarth, the rock quality's shit. Oh, it's really scary at Gogarth. But really, it's quite solid.
Well, you want me to talk about climbing on sea cliffs? Okay. In the book, for Gogarth South, it describes Mousetrap Zorn as being like a psychedelic dreamscape, which is one of the things that's really made me want to climb the route.
This is a really weird climb.
Because of all the different colours of rock and all the different striations which have been like melded around each other, kind of like they've melted into each other, which made me really. Well, I found it quite disorientating, really. You can't really like see out of the chimney, know like which fin I was in, which fin I was supposed to be in. The finny isn't like anything you've ever climbed before, really. Outrageous, like you end up like in a chimney.
Yeah, this is it.
Stick out of the rock, like these big like fins of solid kind of start of the route with rock. And when you ab into it, like it goes up on the left and then sort of traverses. So you don't really know how you're supposed to get where you want to go. It's an amazing way of crawling around on barnacle covered rocks. You need to get like around there and don't really want to lean back. It's pretty outrageous. It's not something that you'd ever really see in your normal life. The climbing really wasn't that difficult. It's just the rock was crap. Really rubbish. All the holes felt like they were going to come off in your hands all the time, which was really worrying.
It's kind of more about like a climbing craft than like actual hard climbing sometimes. It's just kind of using your skills to kind of move safely through sometimes suspect territory. And you just end up in these like parts, it just feels like a sand pit and you can just scrape it off. But you're just generally climbing carefully and trying not to load one hole too much or shock load things. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable climbing and yeah, it's good, fun stuff.
Huh? The first good piece of gear. Woo, that's a bit soft. Ah! Ah!
The top pitch, I expected it to be really solid. When I was looking over at it, because it looks like it's that red rock that is kind of on Castle Helen and that kind of thing. Like it's not like totally terrible, that rock, but actually it's just like a shell of that hard
that
rock,
wasn't so bad.
which is
I was
covering
just worried about
like
the sand.
in a sandiness. And so it still like wasn't like you could just pull on holds like willy nilly.
Let's talk about Michaela's sling placements.
I just placed a whole load of slings which blew off.
Michaela doesn't believe in like larkspur in them, so she just like hangs them on. She's like, that's great, lovely.
I'm running out of slings!
And then like the wind just blows them off. Which is great for me, I didn't have to clean them.
I like placing slings.
Okay mate, it's the variation of the routes and the conditions. You can climb on upper tier here in the morning and have cold hands, and then you're down on main cliff in the afternoon and it's red hot. It looked fairly straightforward from the ground, but this is the thing, a big cliff, you don't really know where you're going. And there was a couple of crooksy sections, lower sort of dark black section which was sort of sharp holds. Nailed. And then a bit of a dodgy run out upper section which was...
Is it all right?
Yeah, these holes are massive, punchy, but...
As in like, is it dry and...
Yeah, it's sweaty. And then you get to the belay, it's very impressive, a hanging belay.
Yeah, constantly.
Not on slings, not really, not too bad. No, actually, on that black bit, I was starting
That's a hard bit of it, I thought.
I was starting to worry, actually.
Yeah.
I've been here probably about 7 times this year, and probably taken about 4 selfies just from this spot here, so it is a pretty focal point for me. As we said earlier, ordinary routes generally aren't graded E5, but it's a route that I wanted to do because John and I had already done positron, and I didn't leave that main headwall pitch, so I'm quite keen to go up there again.
With Mike.
It's a special place. As I said, the nature and the exposure, sort of risk, but it's just a good place to be.
Easy.
It's kind of like you don't really want to be there when you're doing it. It's pretty terrifying, actually.
Okay.
On red.
Exciting.
Fucking hot. The prelude to it, getting involved, getting yourself psyched up to do it, is the hardest bit. But once you've actually started it and going for it, put the first couple of bits of gear in, then you start moving and it gets easier and easier. That satisfaction of completing the route.
Thanks, Jono.
Pretty special, actually.
Safe.
I'll put it up here, actually. Nice work, Mike. Thank you.
Once you get to the top, it's all okay. It's a good place to be.
If climbers could design their own sea cliff area, it would look a lot like Pembroke. Miles of well-protected single-pitch routes, a short distance from a pub, cafe and campsite, but always something out of the ordinary if you look a bit further. It feels so peaceful here, it's easy to forget that you're on land owned by the army.
When you have off, the waves are crashing beneath you. It's just unbelievable, and it just puts you in that mindset of, this is serious, get your shit together. Fuck's sake, of course it's on the other side. When I set off on the ledge and you come in sort of under the first little roof, that's when the adrenaline really starts to kick in. Come on. And you're thinking, shit, switch your head on and let's get this done.
Go on, man.
Woo. The sort of special thing about rock art is, every time you move your feet, you're having to look down through your legs to where the sea's all beneath you. It just feels super exposed and just super gnarly. Come on. Thank you. Oh, joy. Glory jug. Fuck yeah, sunlight. Glory jugs. Woo! That was amazing, mate. That was unbelievable. Wow.
It is my favourite climbing area in the UK. It's really pretty, as well as the cliffs, there's lovely beaches, really nice pub. Everything's very positive, the footholds are very positive, the handholds are very positive, the gear's often very good. So you feel like you can really push yourself, and it's not going to be dangerous. I guess all those things together to make it a really nice place just to go on a long weekend or a weekend. So Simon and I decided to go and climb Circa. It starts off
relatively easy. And then it's when I got to about halfway that I heard this random helicopter. First concern is, oh, that's death for a climber, I hope they're okay. And then I was a bit concerned because it seemed getting quite close. The downdraft was going to kind of unbalance me. But at the same time, downdraft was quite cooling, so that was quite nice. I think I was resting on a jug, that position, I felt kind of okay there. But yeah, I was going to have to climb on at some point. Because that's kind of constant dilemma when you're in a good hole, you don't really want to leave it. But eventually I put in enough gear and I thought it was pretty safe. And you go up there, do a few more kind of steep moves on good holes actually, good kind of incut jugs. Then you get to a thread, which is your clip, so I just thought, well, that's a good bit of gear. You know kind of where you've got to go, but it's not, I don't think it's totally obvious. Probably the closest I've actually been to falling off. I haven't actually fallen off. It's all a bit sketchy, and then it's pretty straightforward to the top from there.
I don't know, it's about climbing with the helicopter in the background.
Yeah, I bet that spoiled the sound a little bit.
Pleasure Dome. What can I say about it? Probably the best E4 in the world. Unfortunately, it's only E3. so I've got no excuses really. You go across a really, really nice sort of slab with a big crack across it, and it's all quite civilised. But then you get to a point, and it says in the guidebook that it's a good rest. Or an awkward rest, I can't remember what it says in terms of resting, but it's certainly bloody awkward. So I had a little moment there.
Holy shit!
Andy's approach to Pleasure Dome, which was his classic approach, which is that he climbs his route, and then he gets to the crux, looks at the next move, decides to build a belay of about 10 pieces of gear. Then instead of looking at how he's going to do the next long move, he just starts sort of like pulling on holes until either he kind of falls off or gets taken in. And unfortunately, it was the latter on Pleasure
The
Dome.
steep sort of pulls, sort of headwalls, I really struggled with them. And what ensued was just slapping wildly and feeling like I was going to die. So I just kept going. And yeah, there was a lot of huffing and puffing. And yeah, I absolutely felt like I was going to die at every single move. It's crazy. Loved it.
Not finished yet, dude. Woo! Holy fucking shit. Ah! Yeah, that bit's a bit wild actually.
But he certainly got up there in the end, and he tried really hard. Yeah, that's always the main thing.
Well, that was an adventure.
We'll do it again for you if you want. Hunson's Leaf. Oh, Jesus! So you ebb down into what you think's just a little tiny zone. It doesn't look so big from up on top, and you come down and there's this huge world down there with caves, and you look up and there's magnificent walls in front of you and overhanging, and you don't get any sense of that from the top. Plus you've got ordnance down in the bottom to avoid, which is very nice. Sort of mortar shells knocking around. I don't advise anybody go kicking them.
As soon as you abseil down, you can kind of feel the cool air and see all these kind of unexploded shells and the water-worn rocks on the bottom. It's so atmospheric. Right, just gonna do a wee. Wee out all the fear.
Sea cliff climbing is the first time I've done it this year, and it's something that I've really wanted to do for a while.
Jugs all the way so far.
And I think the really cool thing about sea cliff climbing is that climbing is already a really intense experience, but climbing in front of the sea kind of augments that intensity and makes it even more kind of special and pure.
Are you not going to build a belay?
You're not going to build a belay?
Do you think I should?
I would.
So Range East is great because it's just super accessible. So like I said, when I first got here, I first came to St Govan's, and you abseil down and there's just rock everywhere for miles and miles in each direction. I mean, there's so many routes and I don't know, it just makes you so psyched. Towers is probably my favourite route that I've done at Pembroke so far because it felt like the most kind of genuine sea cliff experience. As soon as you set off from the tiny belay ledge, you were straight above the sea and there was no going back. It was when I was kind of at what I thought was the physical crux. And I had some little micro wires next to me. And as I stepped up, I kicked out these micro wires. And I kept climbing. I thought, shit, I better keep climbing, keep climbing. It's okay, I'm fine, I'm not going to land in the sea. And then I looked down at my last runner and I thought, I'm definitely going in the sea. So that was absolutely great. Cool.
Barbarella. Yeah, what can I say about that? I've heard that E5s in Pembroke are soft, so I don't know if that's any good. Thought I'd give one of them a go. And I got a big shock as soon as I got on Barbarella. The climbing was quite hard. It was really hard to fiddle in the little wires. Got really tired trying to place them.
From the word go, it was a bit kind of sketchy because he was just throwing in all these micro wires, and then at one point he put in a micro wire by his foot and he said, I can't see it, I think it's shit.
I thought I saw a good hold, so I tried to reach it so I could get another wire in.
You alright, Rob?
Yeah.
You alright, Theo?
You what? I don't know.
Oh shit.
Whoa. Oh. Has anything hit?
Oh yeah, my neck, but I think it's just bruised. Bloody hell.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my foot hurt.
You alright?
I think so. Luckily Theo's head provided a soft landing. But yeah, got away with just a little bit of pain in my foot. So me and Theo got away quite lightly, I think.
So we went to the cauldron to check it out one evening after we'd finished climbing, and we got there and you thought, wow, this is it. You know, this is what sea cliff climbing's all about.
Cauldron is the scariest place on earth.
And when you got down there, it was just kind of really special.
It's really tall, it's like a skyscraper. It's actually only 45 metres high, but it looks 100 metres at least.
Quite close to the sea in this huge zone with this huge arch behind you, and you just thought, I bet not many people have really kind of been down here. It was almost like some kind of like video game. It was so surreal.
The route we did was an E1, was it called the Demon, I think? The start was really wet. The middle section had really hollow wire placements, which I didn't trust any of them. The top section was the loosest I've ever climbed on.
And Rob did really well on the pitch that he led, because I think he was still quite shaken up after his ground fall. And the rock was pretty greasy and wet, and then it was really loose.
It was more a case of finding the least loose bits to pull on rather than everything tapping and finding the bits that were loose. at the end of it, I actually pulled a load of loose rock off and had to shout down to Theo to yeah, so you wouldn't want to do that as your first D1, I don't think.
In these quieter parts of North Wales, you can feel like you're the only climbers on Earth, or perhaps the last climbers on Earth. These aren't really famous areas for climbing, more notorious ones. If it wasn't for the guidebooks, you wouldn't believe that climbers had ever come to some of these crags before.
I'd never actually met Matt before that weekend. I just knew him from his online persona. And I described to my girlfriend about how I was going away for this weekend and was climbing with some guy who I'd never met, and all I knew is he was called Fiend.
This weekend we've gone a little bit off-piste, so stayed away from like kind of chalky, polished bollocks.
There's some rock up here, so you won't be like... Weirdness with weirdness stacked on it.
Lots of variety of rock, variety of situations. The kind of coastline itself is intriguing, kind of where the sea meets the land. There's always something of kind of aesthetic interest there. Mild adventure for mildly competent climbers like myself. We went to find the Great Crack of Porth Ower.
And it was in a really beautiful location, and it felt like we were just going to the middle of nowhere, and there was a really cool beach. And there was one route, and all the rock looked a bit weird.
Good news is it looks about BS from here. The bad news is it looks like a BS made out of cheese.
It was all really crumbly. If the rock was solid, it would be like a good E1.
It's super crunchy.
It was more like E3.
You can just assume that any time I do anything that I'm shouting below.
Yes, really cool, very classic groove line.
But it was quite cool to climb something that probably no one else has ever bothered to do except the first ascensionist.
What's that?
Maybe slightly fragile in places, possibly.
Oh, my mum. So do I. After that. Sort of haven of horror.
And then went to Trin Milfat.
Trin Melin.
I can't pronounce the name.
So yeah, he really wanted to drag me down to Trin Melin, and you've got this great view out over Bardsey Island, and the crag's just sort of hidden away. It's a really cool venue.
The Bardsey Ripple, which Will did, I guess is like an ice cream flavour or something. Definitely looks more edible than climbable, but a really great route and really wild looking scenario.
It just looks ridiculous. It doesn't look like it's going to be an E2 going up there.
Whew, that's fun.
And the rock all looked basically rubbish. It all looked like it was going to rip off. The quartz vein looked solid, but it didn't look like it was very well attached to the rest of the rock. Yeah, I was really scared about doing that. And once you get up close, the rock's not quite so bad, but the start of the route's really steep and quite intimidating. And I wasn't quite sure where the gear was going to come from. A few little bits were crumbling away in your hands, and I felt like all the way up I was climbing really cautiously because I was worried that there was going to be a hard bit or a loose bit.
Oh, at least to see chalk.
Or the gear was going to run out or something. But it just, yeah, everything just kept appearing. And then the finish is just brilliant. It's so unlikely that an E2 would go up that line, and all the holes, it's already 3D, everything just sticks right out in your face. And you're just sort of thumping everything, hoping that it's not too hollow.
one, Will. Oh.
And I think I got away with it.
Oh, cheers, Matt. Safe.
And then we picked up this kind of innocent Aussie girl who was over looking for people to climb with, so we thought we'd take her back to the range and show what real Welsh climbing was all about.
Well, it's been pretty interesting. I don't usually go sea cliff climbing. I usually avoid it because I find sea cliffs a bit scary. It's committing, the sea is at the bottom crashing. This is exactly the kind of route I usually avoid. Steep, loose rock, sea cliff. Feet, clouds breaking under my feet. That was actually really good. I think it's a really unique thing to the UK, the amount of sea cliffs you have here and the quality of them. It's incredible, and there's a lot of climbing history in the sea cliffs here as well. It's not something that people flock to in Australia, it's just there, whereas here the sea cliffs is kind of the gem of the UK climbing in a way. Oh, this is lovely.
Matt really bigged up the range as this amazing sort of micro venue where everything was like Gogarth but smaller, which it's not. It's all smaller, but it's not Gogarth. And there's a reason people don't climb very much in some of them.
The complete works at the range is a very, very loose, chossy pile of sandy rubble.
So it
Good start.
Huh? I didn't need that.
I really wouldn't actually recommend anybody climbs it. I think it's
described as profoundly loose, which was it was quite stimulating. Bit of an irresistible line of this kind of hanging groove cum chimney collaboration of flanges and sand.
I might just stay here for like a couple of hours.
I watched Matt on the complete works and made me concerned that I'd never watched someone die before. And that was
This is unbelievable. I'm going to try doing a step up.
It didn't really feel, well, I wasn't moving as a climber, the cliff was kind of moving past me at varying speeds.
Just keep an eye on this is terrifying.
okay. I'm watching you.
Stay attached, stay attached, stay attached.
Come on, Matt. Doing great.
Right. I think that's got to be the crux. This really looks okay. Well, I mean, what the fuck am I saying? All right, Kate, I've sort of reached the really loose bit now, and at the moment I'm a bit confused.
I'd just say don't climb
Hello.
it. It's go and find something more solid.
Whoa.
So I just got away with it. Yeah, and I don't really do many routes like that, and I can kind of see why afterwards.
Matt did incredibly well to get up it without falling, which would have been really nasty.
I think we all needed a curry after that. I think what we found on this visit is some of them are worth exploring in a real hidden gem, mini adventure, completely underrated sort of way, and some of them are worth exploring as in a fuck me, I'm never doing that again sort of way. But they both have value.
England feels a long way away in this far corner of Britain. Even neighbouring Devon feels a long way away. There's so little to distract us from these cliffs, which are the birthplace of sea cliff climbing. I wish we could just stay down here forever.
Right, okay, yeah, I'm Stu Tucker from Somerset and climbing with my mate Pete, and we just finished the Bossigrin Ridge, or the Commando Ridge as it's known, and it's been an excellent day. The weather's been good, and I think the first pitch was the best. Going around the arrest and then coming around to the ramp and leading up from there, I think that was the best part. It's quite, with the Zorn below, it's really
Who's over there?
I think that was my favourite. What about yours, Pete? The last one, yeah. That's because the sun was out. Well, I think it's just beautiful, isn't it? I mean, you've got the sea and the cliffs and the beer. You know, it's ideal, really, I think. I mean, it's fantastic. The rock's compact and good quality. It's perfect.
It's my favourite kind of climbing, sea cliff climbing, because it's just that bit more exciting, really. Because you've got to find the right place to abseil in. You've got to do all the logistics of how on earth you're going to escape if you can't actually climb the route, and all the faffing around that is time consuming. And you've got this window of time where you've got the tide and time, waits for no one. Climbed Earthly Powers yesterday in Whirlpool Zorn. Beautiful. Everyone should go do it. I'd never even heard of it.
What's the gear like?
Fine, it's just a bit exciting. It's harder than I've climbed in quite a while. So just talked myself into it and then went and got on it. So if you're up in this groove and you've got really good gear actually. And then this sort of tenuous move, and the first time you look at it, you're like, oh my God, gotta go with something.
Yeah.
It's a million miles away. There's this huge jug just tempting you, waiting for you to just go, ah, and go for it.
That really wasn't that bad.
Nice.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
And you calm down a little bit, and then you go, oh, actually, there's plenty of footholds because it's granite, and there's just these tiny little footholds, and the hands were good enough, and it was amazing when you committed to it. No, it really wasn't that bad.
That was fun.
The second pitch got on and it started raining.
One tricky move and then it's all over, I think.
So this beautiful, grippy, frictionless granite.
Just more exciting with wet, slippery.
Turned into a slippy, intimidating nightmare.
It's raining. That's what I was saying.
And just the time pressure of...
Oh, bugger.
Well, we can't go down anymore. Because it's only going to get wetter and slippier.
This might not go well. Well, it's not meant to rain now.
No, it's fine. Come on. You can do this. Excellent.
Oh my goodness, all that faff for that. Stupid thing. Stupid. Yeah, enjoy settling this.
Then it's this sheer choss of wet grass. So reading the guidebook properly was awesome.
because we had an outbreak, for me to pull up rather than me clinging on for dear life to this wet, slippy grass in rock boots. The whole combination, it was an amazing climb, awesome routes, hard for me, too much faffing.
Safe, Eddie!
But totally worth it.
Sea cliffs down here in Cornwall. It's been a good trip. I've been climbing with the lovely Cecile,
You missed me.
who is getting well into sea cliffs. C'est bon. So if you fancy a swim, you have a nice pool, calm.
It's probably not too cold.
It probably is not.
Maybe later. Well, I came in the UK, actually I went to learn trad climbing. I just feel the rock, you know. I like the sea cliff, obviously. It's always nice to touch new rock and make new experiences. So yeah, Rock Dancer is my first E1. There's no gear. It's a really cool route. I like it. I didn't find a lot of placement for my gear, but I think I need more experience still, and I still need to learn a lot. So it felt a bit sparse, yeah. But the climbing was okay, not too hard, a lot on the feet, so I could feel comfortable enough and confident enough to keep on going without swearing in French too loud. Oh yeah. Yeah, the rain. Well, it's not so bad. It is bad, but less than expected. And it's just beautiful. So yeah, I was happy to have sunshine when climbing. It was nice.
North Cornwall and North Devon are perhaps not the most popular areas of sea cliff climbing, but definitely one of my favourite areas. The remoteness of them, the cliff architecture, they're just stunning looking lumps of rock and fantastic lines. I first discovered North Cornwall on my first independent climbing trip, and we hitchhiked around Cornwall and Devon, and we rocked up at Pentyre about 5 o'clock in the afternoon after having spent all day getting there from St Ives. You just can't imagine what Pat Littlejohn must have felt like when he discovered the place. It's really, really magnificent. So Aroka was the route that we climbed that day. We used the regular point of aid, which makes it a great E1, but I'd always fancied coming back and doing it free. So 37 years later, finally got round to it, and really, really enjoyed going through that double roof. Still remember it from the 70s. And you get up to the belay.
And I can see the little
and
See the little rascal ahead?
all of a sudden,
Bit sweaty up here.
those sharp cracks, the large friendly flakes run out, and you're faced with this ramp.
So the jumper is holding the sling down so the sling doesn't lift off.
It was not the ideal condition.
Right.
It's quite a grey and misty day, and Erökefried's pretty close to my sort of limit, so I was feeling quite nervous to start off with.
Well, it is 6A.
It's almost gritstone-like smears and quite unpositive hand and footholds. Just what you don't want on a kind of misty, greasy
Sadly,
day.
going to have to make a move here.
There's a certain amount of
spooky moves.
Toing and froing ensued.
Left foot's on one of these two.
Right foot up there, and hope your fingers don't grease off.
Okay, watch me here. Fucking hell. That was exciting.
Nice one,
It's still
Duncan.
exciting. Oh, bloody hell. Clip the peg. Oh yes. Whew. Pretty happy to see that. Even though it is a stub of rust. And still it ain't over. Ah, yes it is. Whew. Thank you very much.
I managed to climb the thing, and just felt so happy afterwards.
Oh yes.
It was a fantastic feeling to come back and square the circle.
Yes. Oh yes.
After that,
I'm
that
really
period of
happy.
time, I'm really happy about it.
Did it look as scary as I felt? Positive thing holds slightly higher.
It's a bit, must admit, that's not going to win many awards, that move.
So you enjoyed yourself then? I reckon I could probably manage about 18 hours worth of tales from the 80s. Ask any of my long-suffering climbing partners. Nicely done.
Nice one, old chap.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
I so far forgot myself as to shake hands.
At the seaside, safety is above the cliff rather than below it. And the anxiety you feel as you climb melts away as you reach the top. Back where you began, there's no descent to make and no route finding left to do. Just your comfy shoes, a secure belay, and your lovely sandwiches and water. Looking out to sea, the glow of satisfaction grows with each pull of the ropes, and watching the waves, you think of the tide and yourself as a climber. Sometimes rising angrily, rapidly and boldly. Sometimes lapping slowly but steadily across the rocks. Sometimes retreating. But each time, the inexorable pull brings us back.